Hey guys, what's up? So I'm here with a drugstore lip product today, and this isn't going to be a full review. I want to say this is more of a first impressions. So in today's video, I want to share with you guys my thoughts on this new Maybelline lip gloss palette. It's just called Lip Gloss Palette, and there's no like individual shade names on these lip glosses. It's just called Lip Gloss Palette. I got mine at Rite Aid, and it was $11.60, and then with taxes, it was almost around $12. So I just wanted to share what I think about this. Let me just start off by saying I'm usually a pretty big fan of Maybelline lip products. I love the color elixirs. I like their color sensational glosses. These ones, these like OG ones, they're kind of harder to find now, but I really like those. And this is what the color elixirs look like in case you aren't familiar with them. These are great too. Both are very pigmented lip glosses, and I mean just one swipe you're done kind of gloss. So I was expecting that with this palette too, since Maybelline, even their lipsticks are great. I love their creamy mattes. I've been raving about those a lot lately, and even their regular color sensational, especially the vivids, are very pigmented lip products. So as a whole, I do really like Maybelline lip products. But with this, it is a little bit different. This is the color I've been wearing a lot. It's this kind of rosy pink shade. They don't have individual names, so this is the one that I'm wearing on my lips right now. And I had to layer this, I'm not kidding, like 4 times, maybe even a little bit more than that, just to get it to show up opaque like the pan. I'm gonna kind of try to get a lot of gloss on my finger and show you a swatch, just like straight up live swatch here, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like when you swatch it on your hand. So when you do a quick swatch on your hand, this is just one layer. It looks very sheer. I have to say it swatches a lot better on the skin than it does on the lips, and I think it's because this texture is so super creamy that sometimes on the lips it doesn't want to stay. I do have kind of wear issues with this gloss. If I don't babysit it, I notice that it does slip out of my lip line, and I don't usually have that problem. So that is 2 layers now of the gloss, and you can see it looks a lot better than when I had just one tiny swipe on, because when I just had one swipe it really doesn't show up much, but with 2 it looks so much better. The finish is really nice and creamy. It feels nice and creamy on the lips too. That's the other important thing I wanted to mention, is that it's really comfortable, but it does kind of have a tiny bit of slip, so I feel like I do kind of need to babysit my lips during the day. And the unfortunate thing about this palette, in the packaging they didn't put a mirror at all. So I mean, I do have a compact in my purse which I've been using when I check up on my lip gloss, but I really feel like for the price, like almost $12 with taxes, like you could have put just a tiny mirror, you know what I mean, just like a little one up in here. Other than that, the packaging is really nice. It reminds me of the Maybelline Brow Drama Pro palette, which is what I have in my brows today, and I love that brow palette thing. Is awesome. But I do like the packaging. It looks nice, but a mirror would have really completed it, and I know other people said that in their review too, but I have to agree, I really do. And it also comes with this little lip brush here, which is actually nice. So I'm gonna take this light pink shade and I'm going to build it up until it's opaque, and I'm just using the lip brush that it comes with here. This is the one that comes in the kit, so you can use whatever lip brush you have. You could even use your fingers if you want to, and the lip brush is great because you can really get into these little corners, and with your finger it's just, I just feel like it's a lot harder to get like a precise application. So I'm going back in for some more here. Alright, so that's one layer of this light pink, and I don't think that pigmentation is actually as bad. I feel like this one maybe is a bit more pigmented than the rosy color, because for the rosy color, I mean, I had to layer the heck out of it. So this one I think has better pigmentation. I'm just going to load up my brush again and I'm going to go for layer 2 just to see if it's a little bit more pigmented, but I do think one layer is actually not bad on this color. Alright, so there's round 2 done, and I think that looks fine. I think that's pigmented enough for me. It is super glossy, so I feel like it makes your lips look really plump. Like, I'm looking in the viewfinder here and it's just like, I feel like my lips look twice as big with this super glossy finish, which is, I like it, but I probably would not wear this light pink on its own. This is just a little too light for me. I'm not really digging this color by itself, but that's the beauty of this lip palette. So there is just one swipe, and it's not really showing up at all. So I think the key really to these colors is just layering it. Let me do another swipe here so you guys can see it built up. Okay, so getting better, still not as pigmented as it is on the lips. So for this swipe, for this swatch, I think 3 is good enough to get it nice and pigmented. So there you have it. The swatch, I built it up 3 times on here and I did it twice on my lips. And I have to say, I think really the key is going to be layering these colors if you want them to be fully opaque. I don't really like this color on its own, but I would totally maybe mix it a little bit with that second color just to deepen it up a little bit. Third shade to me looks a little bit like a berry pink. It just has maybe a touch of purple in it, and I love these shades, so I'm really excited for this one. And I loaded up my brush, so let's do it. Let's get going here with our first layer. And my lips are a little bit red now because wiping them with the makeup wipe so many times kind of makes them a little irritated, so my natural lip color isn't usually that like pigmented. So there's one layer on the bottom lip. Actually not bad at all. I have to say I actually really like this. I think it's great with just one layer, and that one has impressed me the most so far. But of course you can always do 2 layers, get it nice and opaque. 1 layer though is fine with this, so I'm actually impressed. Show you guys. So there's that berry, very nice. This one is nicely pigmented. I have to say I'm impressed with it. I don't think you're going to have to layer this one as much as the other shades I just showed you. Let's do another layer. So now we're at 3, and that's beautiful. I really like it. Now we have this like super hot pink, like seriously Barbie girl in a Barbie world hot pink. Just gonna go for it. So here we are going in for the first round. This is looking pretty intense. Alright, so look at that. That's actually really pigmented. This one's pretty good on its own too. So I do have to say, I think this one has a little bit more of a thin texture to it, and it's not as creamy as the other ones. There you have it, 2 swipes on the back of the hand, 2 swipes on the lips. Really pigmented, good shade in this palette. And next up we have a kind of a light coral. Alright, so there is round 1 with the coral. It's actually not that bad. I would say maybe another layer just because it's looking a little bit patchy, I think, in the middle. Alright, so now I'm going into this kind of pinky red shade. I really like to take my time to kind of rough up the first layer of this product because the first layer is a little bit hard. Ooh, I like this one. This is a good one. So there is 1 layer, and I think this looks really nice. I don't think it looks super patchy or anything, but I will just put on a tiny more because we're going to do, I just want to show you what they look like, I mean full on color. Alright, so now let's do a hand swatch. Taking a little bit, and we're going to do 1 layer. So that's 1 swipe. Really nice on its own, but we're going to do another one. So here's round 2. Going in for round 2, and look at that, really good. So let's dive into this red, and once again just kind of roughing up this first top layer because I find it makes it just a little bit easier for the color to come off if you really just kind of play with it and just kind of go back and forth just a few times to make it a little bit creamier. And let's go for round 1 on the lips. Here we go. Ooh, that's really good. Can you guys see this one? It's like nicely coming off great. So there's 1 layer of this bright red. I really like it. I think this is beautiful. Just 1 layer is good. Like, this is nice. It's very pigmented. Didn't go on patchy. I don't feel like this one is really greasy. This one has more of the creamy texture. That is just gorgeous. I love this color. It's very creamy, pigmented, goes on smooth. Here we have this super deep red, and let's do it. This is a good one. This one is really pigmented too. So there is the deep red in the pan end compared to what it looks like on my lips. It's not quite as deep because I think you'd really have to layer it maybe like 4 or 5 times to make it show up this opaque and this deep. But like I said, the more you layer this one, the greasier and the kind of gooier it looks almost. This is just too thin of a texture. Like this one is a little bit runny, so I wouldn't recommend layering it as much as the other ones. So from my first impressions today, I feel like all of these shades are buildable except for this dark red one that I have on my lips now. I think when you layer it, it's just too much. And also the hot pink. These do not layer well. The rest are perfectly fine, but those two, they're just the exception. They just feel a little bit too greasy to me to layer, so don't layer those ones up. Honestly, I would say just do 1 layer on those. The rest, build them up as much as you want to. I think 2 layers is sufficient for all of the other colors. The red one is great by itself, this one's great by itself. The other ones, you might want to do 2 layers and you'll be set. The thing here for me is that they're not super unique shades. None of these shades are like hard to find at the drugstore. So do I think this is worth the $12 for these 8 shades? I mean, it depends. If you're a palette person, if you're a palette girl, then by all means, you're gonna love this. If you are looking for something really pigmented with one swipe, this is not the palette for you. This isn't the most practical option for a lip product. I mean, if you want something that's like really efficient and quick and easy to apply, this is not for you at all, because you're gonna have to use a lip brush or some sort of applicator. There's no mirror in it, so it's not really that good for on the go. This is definitely a little bit time consuming, and I think that's what's gonna be a deal breaker for a lot of people. So if you know you're not a palette girl, if you know, like if you're watching this video and you're saying to yourself like, oh, I'm never gonna use a lip brush, I wouldn't ever have time for that, then you will like totally hate this product. Personally, I just think it's okay. I don't love it, I don't hate it. I'm like right in the middle, and that's why I wanted to make this video, is because I just want to say, you know, it really depends on what your style is. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. If you've tried this, let me know in the comments how you feel about it, if you love it, if you hate it, or if you're just like on the fence. I can't wait to hear from you all, and as always, thank you so much for watching.